In just a few months, oxygen levels have dropped from 20% to 5%. All vegetation is completely dead. In time, even the oceans began to disappear. Humans tried to band together, but the desire to get the remaining oxygen forced them to fight each other. Brooklyn, New York. 2039 Darius and his old father are wearing special suits as they explore an abandoned, half-buried, sand-filled city. They roam alone, communicating by radio. The old man searches the upstairs, but the floor beneath him collapses, and the man falls. As he falls, he hooks his foot and hangs upside down. All would be well, but against the sharp edges of the crack, he rips off the oxygen hoses and oxygen deprivation begins. Upon hearing a distressing signal over the radio, Darius sprints with all his might to assist, but he arrives too late. He hoists the figure upright and reconnects the oxygen supply, yet it's futile. His father has passed away. Darius goes back to his spouse and child. Their refuge is a subterranean hideout. For 3 years, its barriers have shielded the kin from the harsh outside world. Maya and her daughter Zora inquire about Grandpa, but the grimace on Darius's face says it all. Subsequently, he shares his intention. He aims to transport his father's remains 5 miles to lay him to rest beside his mother's tomb. Maya objects, citing the perilous nature of the journey. In contrast, Zora pleads to join. Darius reckons it has been an extended period since they encountered another soul, minimizing the risk of such a venture. Come morning, the father imparts final directives before his departure. Monitor the generator and await his comeback. Adorning a protective suit, he strides from the shelter into the blistering sunshine. Zora watches him through the display, unaware it's her final glimpse of her dad. Zora primes her firearm and steps cautiously into the shopping center. While trying on fresh attire, Zora's irate mother discovers her. Maya escorts the youngster back to their abode. At dusk, Zora communicates with her dad via radio. She recounts the occurrences of the day, discusses her aspirations. Briefly, she sensed another presence on the line, but then quiet returned. The girl receives no reply. Existence persists. Maya instructs Zora on managing potential issues with the life-sustaining apparatus. During leisure, the duo unwinds, indulges in merriment, styles their hair, and enjoys melodies. One day, lounging outside their haven, they engage in conversation. Abruptly, Maya discerns a pair of armed figures drawing near from afar. A gentleman and a lady encounter the sealed entrance of the bunker and attempt to pry it open. Zora and Maya conceal themselves close by. As one intruder inspects the rooftop, the lady surveys the vicinity. Maya launches a surprise assault, disarming the woman. Mother and daughter dash to their shelter, succeed in entering, and forcefully shut the door. The outsiders plead for entry. The lady explains they've journeyed from a different shelter. A fault in their life support system spells impending asphyxiation within days. She professes to have collaborated with Darius, a physicist, and is aware that he devised the oxygen generator. The woman implores Maya to admit her so she can analyze the apparatus and replicate it in her own bunker. The generator at their settlement has malfunctioned, leaving everyone dependent on them. Maya debates with Zora. The daughter advocates for welcoming the strangers, and her view prevails. Maya emerges, brandishing a shotgun. The strangers, already subdued at gunpoint, reveal their identities. Maya flings a zip tie to the woman, directing her to secure her associate's wrists. Lucas resists, but his protests fall on deaf ears, particularly with his accomplice Tess. Maya then restrains Tess's wrists too. Zora stands vigilant, firearm at the ready, yet she's unprepared for another individual rounding the bend, toppling her over, and both tumbling through the ajar entrance into the bunker. Maya swiftly follows inside. Maya fires at the intruder, striking his shoulder, and secures him to an iron table's leg. Tess and Lucas are left outside. They continue their conversation through the sealed door. Maya expresses her distrust in their words and demands they depart. Yet, Tess persists in her calm negotiations, stating the wounded man is their protector. They must be wary of outsiders, but Tess suggests it's time to reacquaint. Maya remains unconvinced. Tess then gazes into the camera, vowing to do whatever it takes to access their oxygen generator. She brandishes a blade and slices through the bindings, liberating herself first, followed by Lucas. The pair is resolute and won't yield. While Maya and Zora question their detainee, Lucas and Tess extract a drill and commence boring into the door. Maya reassures the confined locksmith that the door is impenetrable. Nevertheless, an alarm signaling a system integrity violation soon resounds. The intrusion appears to be effective. Zora conceives a plan. With a torch and some copper strands, she constructs a gadget. She positions it adjacent to the door and activates it. Moments later, an electromagnetic surge strikes the drill, rendering it inoperative, yet the invaders persist. Tess ascends to the rooftop, leaving Lucas to secure the entrance, and severs the oxygen supply. The bunker's hazard alert blares once more. Maya and Zora don oxygen masks in haste. The captive pleads for one too. Witnessing his agonizing spasms, Zora relents and fits a mask over him. Resolved to confront the intruders, Maya activates the garage door, creating a diversion. She stealthily exits as Lucas rushes towards the garage. Tess, incensed by Lucas's negligence of the front door, discerns the garage ruse. Indeed, it was merely a feint. Lucas failed to reach the garage before the door shut once more. Yet now Maya confronts them, firearm in hand. Lucas and Tess astonishingly dodge the barrage of bullets, taking cover behind a demolished vehicle, perched atop the roof. Maya ensures neither can peek out. Concurrently, Zora interrogates the detainee. The man insists they mean no harm. He argues for the admission of his crew, suggesting Tess might even enhance their generator. All the while, he gradually untangles himself from the ropes, inching his hands free. Outside, Tess lays down covering fire for Lucas as he dashes for the stairway to the rooftop. Maya's attention falters, a lapse she soon comes to lament. A man ascends to the rooftop and assails her. Suffering a leg wound, the woman struggles briefly. Then Tess emerges and strikes her from behind, rendering her unconscious. Concurrently, the captive overpowers the girl, seizing Zora at gunpoint with a shortened shotgun. Tess and Lucas escort Maya to the entrance. Anticipating Zora will observe them via the surveillance and unlatch the door. However, their task simplifies as the imprisoned locksmith has liberated himself. He scarcely comprehends his freedom before the injury takes its toll, and he succumbs moments later. Outside, Lucas begins the ultimate countdown. If Zora fails to unlock the door by the count of 5, he threatens to harm Maya. Tied to the same table, Zora manages to press her face against the deceased man's mask, which houses a radio. She broadcasts to the intruders that the man is deceased, and being bound, she's unable to open the door. Even with a firearm aimed at Maya's head, she's powerless to comply. The door's mechanism necessitates a keycard, which is secured within the bunker. The sole recourse is to retrieve an alternate keycard from Darius. Tess commands Lucas to maintain his post, while she and Maya set off in the vehicle to acquire the key. En route, Tess muses over Darius's fate, questioning his survival, but Maya negates the possibility. Indeed, upon his father's demise, Darius resolved to enter him beside his mother's resting place. Maya later uncovers a letter revealing Darius's oversight. The oxygen generator is flawed and bound to fail eventually. Darius's departure was a sacrifice to extend the lifespans of his spouse and offspring. Given Zora's intellect, there's hope she might rectify the generator's defects. Arriving at their destination, Maya, with a pronounced limp, moves towards her husband's remnants. Amidst his belongings, she discovers a keycard and a handgun. Maya also discreetly pockets the keycard and pistol. The car's headlights flicker one final time before it dies. Efforts to revive it fail. Tess requests the oxygen tank and keycard from Maya, arguing that the journey is impractical for both. Given Maya's injured leg and the dwindling oxygen, neither would likely survive, but Tess might stand a chance alone. The women aim their firearms at one another. Yet Tess implores Maya to lower her weapon, promising to look after Zora. With no alternatives left, Maya hands over the card and finds herself stranded in the desolate night, her leg throbbing with pain. Amidst the ruins of the city, Tess successfully reaches the bunker, where Lucas awaits. They step through the door and enter. Zora's immediate concern is her mother's whereabouts and the origin of her father's keycard. Tess fabricates a story about Darius, mentioning their vehicle's failure. She assures Zora that Maya is merely delayed and will return shortly. Tess opens the generator's cover and confesses her inability to replicate it. Lucas is displeased with this revelation. Tess concedes she never knew Darius. Her knowledge was gleaned from overhearing Zora's radio conversations with her father. Tess had pinpointed their location, hoping to gain access to the generator. Now, faced with its complexity, she realizes the futility of her plan. Moreover, she acknowledges the grim reality: the generator's capacity is limited to sustaining just 2 lives. Upon hearing the truth, Lucas's resolve hardens. Without hesitation, he eliminates Tess. The scene shifts to Maya. With the break of dawn, she has a scant 50 minutes of oxygen remaining. Amidst the barren terrain, she spots a lone green shoot piercing through the parched earth. Despite her efforts to inhale the raw air, the mask's alarm persists, signaling the air's toxicity. Maya attempts to power the car with solar panels, yet the display indicates a lengthy 5-hour charge time far beyond her oxygen reserves. Nonetheless, she tries in vain to ignite the engine. Meanwhile, back in the bunker, Lucas drags the corpses outside, preparing for a grim feast. Disconnected from his past, the survival of his kin or acquaintances bears no weight on his conscience. Without the generator, Lucas knows others will perish, but he's made peace with that. His concerns lie elsewhere. When the generator falters, Zora explains it's a common issue caused by external wires disconnecting. To restore power, someone must venture out and reconnect them. Lucas equips her with a mask and oxygen tank, but deliberately limits her supply to 9 minutes, enough time to fix the wires and return without distraction. Zora steps outside, and upon reaching the roof, she spots Maya. Her mother had come to the bunker and purposely disconnected the wire, hoping for a glimpse of her daughter. In a desperate bid to reclaim their sanctuary, Zora and Maya unite against Lucas. As Zora's oxygen dwindles to mere seconds, she raps on the door, but Lucas remains unyielding. The mother-daughter duo devises a strategy, leveraging Maya's discovery that she can endure briefly without the mask. Maya sacrifices her mask for Zora's safety and feigns death. The ruse lures Lucas out, and Maya seizes the moment, incapacitating him with a shot. In the ensuing chaos, they dash into the bunker, but Lucas, driven by survival, forces his way in behind them, setting the stage for a final confrontation. The airlock, devoid of oxygen, offers no respite. Bereft of ammunition, the girls are unable to dispatch their pursuer. The trio bursts into the base, but the agape doors lead to a rapid depressurization. Lucas, wounded and gasping for air, brandishes his weapon at Zora, demanding an oxygen mask. The girls, however, retreat into the airlock. Zora cautions against discharging the firearm indoors due to elevated hydrogen levels, which could trigger an explosion. Sealing the airlock, they confine Lucas in the bunker, now a vacuum. Faced with an inevitable demise, Lucas opts for a swift end over the agony of asphyxiation and discharges the gun. The blast obliterates the entire complex. Throughout the ordeal, Maya remains unmasked. Eventually, she and Zora reach the vehicle, where Maya dons the mask. Zora takes the driver's seat, and they set off. Their sole prospect of survival hinges on reaching the colony from whence the intruders hailed, located in Philadelphia. Merely 3 miles separate them from their destination. The car's battery life hovers at a precarious 3%. Maya's oxygen supply is down to 19 minutes, while Zora has 18 minutes left. Upon arrival, Zora assists her mother from the car, pinning their hopes on discovering the colony. They find themselves before a sealed entrance to an underground garage, where they call out for aid. In the gripping finale, Zora's life support alarm signals the end of her oxygen supply. She collapses on the stairs, succumbing to the inevitable. Moments later, Maya's suit emits the same dire warning, and as she embraces her daughter in what seems like their final moments, darkness envelops her. But hope flickers in the abyss. Maya awakens, finding herself in a makeshift infirmary, crutches at her bedside. Zora emerges, revealing they've been rescued by a thriving underground community. Through Zora's ingenuity, she's repurposed Darius's generator, breathing new life into the colony's failing systems. Don't forget to subscribe and enable notifications to catch more videos like this. Thank you for watching.